What is going on? What is going on? Well, there are definitely some developments coming out. There are definitely some rumors coming out. There's definitely a lot of smoke being made about the Max Verstappen sweepstakes as it sits right now. Big shout out to Mary Beanie, first in the live chat. Big shout out to Paul, second, and Wildcat, third, making the live chat podium. As you all know, this weekend is a race weekend, so we will have our live chat qualifying pole position situation going on. So somebody will be grabbing pole position by their activity in the chat. But let's talk a little bit about just how I'm feeling, in my opinion, about the whole situation unfolding right now about the Max Verstappen sweepstakes and the position Mercedes is putting themselves in and the potential relationships that Mercedes is risking to ruin by trying to acquire Max Verstappen due to what I would say was the premature loss of Lewis Hamilton. Now, I'm going to say this. I think that Mercedes put themselves in a situation that they really didn't need to put themselves in. I think that Mercedes should have rewarded and just do giving Lewis Hamilton his legacy contract. I think that Lewis Hamilton is a driver and a person that if he knows I cannot contribute to the team in a winning manner, I will slide into a different position that will allow me to contribute to the team in a winning manner. And instead of giving Lewis Hamilton what he clearly deserved, the board, and I don't think Toto probably fought his best for him. I think Toto, I said this in Wolff's Den, I think Toto probably sold in the meeting that he could land Max Verstappen, and there were some positives of having Max Verstappen. And I don't think he sold the value of keeping and retaining Lewis Hamilton while we have George Russell and we could get Kimi Antonelli in as our reserve driver. Honestly, I think that would have been a better driver group pairing or collaboration. I think that would have been a better driver collaboration had Mercedes had George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, and Kimi Antonelli in the wings. I think that would have been better. Then maybe the situation that is speculated to be unfolding, which is Kimi Antonelli could indeed find himself being outsourced to another team and not driving for the Silver Arrows. Because who are you going to let go in a situation where you're going to have Max Verstappen incoming? You got George Russell as your more seasoned driver now, who's been in the Mercedes camp for some time. He's driven with Williams while they didn't have anywhere near the best car. I mean, this was the only team on the grid that literally had a Micron 4 on the steering wheel for a data center. I mean, think about it. They had their reasons supposedly, but let's just keep it real. The technology and the money to flow that technology in, it's not one of the spots where they felt was necessarily needed. So George Russell has I'm going to say, in a sense, gotten it out of the mud from there to now with Mercedes. And I think that would have been a better situation for Mercedes altogether. George, and eventually Lewis Hamilton would have reached a point in time, I think, in a nominal field where he probably would have left. And even still then, this situation where Antonelli could have been outsourced to another team wouldn't look so egregious. If Antonelli was in a situation like Felipe Drugovich and you have George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, you could have indeed put Antonelli outsourced to Alpine. And it would have been like, okay, cool. At least he's getting some opportunity. At least he's going to get some experience. At least he's got a surefire way he's going to find himself into a Mercedes seat on the back of Lewis Hamilton leaving. George Russell will be more seasoned. George Russell probably will have shown Mercedes that he can lead a team. Right now, not looking so much. Right now, George Russell is leading the team by way of performance because Antonelli has, and I'm not even going to give it all to Antonelli like he's made a bunch of mistakes. He's a rookie. Antonelli's had some rough times in Formula One that are out of his control. He's also contributed to some things that a rookie's going to contribute to. But overall, Antonelli's one of the better rookies right now on the grid. And I think this is a pretty good rookie class. I think it's pretty good with Antonelli, Bortoleto, Behrman, Hadjar. I think it's a pretty good class of rookies right now that are on the grid. And so what do? You bring Max Verstappen in now because you don't have Lewis Hamilton. I think there's pressure from the board for Toto to perform in this way. And I'm going to say it's probably pressure for Toto to perform this way because they don't and will not look like fools. Okay? You kind of sold it to us, not that you were completely on board with it, but you weren't out of bounds with it. Lewis Hamilton leaving. Now that he's gone, who and what powerhouse are you going to replace him with? And if you don't get Max Verstappen and we don't have Lewis Hamilton, well, what the hell was all of this for? At the end of the day, what was it all for? And then we still need the car, right? So let's just talk about let's go into a bit about the relationship aspect. It is no doubt that I believe, in my opinion, the relationship between Toto and Lewis Hamilton has been fragmented and broken. Majority of that reason being Toto Wolff and his actions, his words, his public statements, and his wooing of Max Verstappen. That relationship is definitely fragmented. And I wish Toto would stop with the Fernando Alonso type format of getting clout chasing. And like, Toto, what do you need to put you and Lewis Hamilton's private conversations about him either asking or mentioning you who he might be entertaining in a relationship? Why are you putting that out there? Why are you making it seem like you had to help Lewis Hamilton with dating information? Toto, since this whole breakup, has shown us an uglier side of himself. He's proven to be a bit less palatable in such a way. He's almost shown us that he can be a snake in such a way. And then for him to also put out there that I only didn't try to go after Max Verstappen because I promised Lewis I wouldn't. It's just a lot of things Toto Wolff is doing and saying that just doesn't show that the integrity and character in which maybe some people thought he had is intact. And now Russell is under attack because now Russell's in a situation where if you're going to bring Max Verstappen in, Russell's got to be wondering to himself, are they going to keep me? Or are they going to keep their rookie sensation underneath the wing of Max Verstappen, which ain't much of a wing at all? Max Verstappen is nobody's mentor. I don't give a damn how the public and how some of these talking heads are trying to put it out there. I even saw a post of somebody even trying to claim that Max Verstappen was the daddy of Formula One. What in the hell? Max Verstappen just become a dad himself. And some of his characteristic traits didn't lean to me thinking that he's going to be the best dad, although I'm hoping he will be. I'm hoping that Max Verstappen won't take any of the shitty things that Jos Verstappen has done and shitty things that he represents and carry him into his fatherhood and new level of life, new experience of life with his daughter. I'm hoping he doesn't do that. I'm actually hoping Max Verstappen entering into fatherhood will enable him to be a better person, especially in his household. But he is nobody's daddy in Formula One. Max Verstappen's nobody's mentor. He's nobody's he's not. He just hasn't done it. He hasn't shown that ability, hasn't shown that capability, and it's just not something that I'm seeing. So that whole campaign of always trying to whitewash Max Verstappen is dead. It's dead. So Mercedes bringing Max in with Kimi Antonelli, that's not going to be a productive pairing. We've already seen how Max Verstappen has been with his teammates. He's just going to be that with Kimi Antonelli. And that's just factually proven with his relationships that he's had with his other teammates. Okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, Mercedes bringing Verstappen in and having George Russell as teammates, that might be the saga of damn Alpine doing what they did with Ocon and Gasly. To me, that could easily just be as toxic. Max Verstappen and George Russell, they're not friends in such a way to me. They come off as not friends. Now, if they're friends, they're doing an awesome job at this duel that's going on. But I don't think so. And these are two people that I think we all could agree with are underhanded. George Russell, if he was trying to prove himself better than the GOAT Lewis Hamilton, you don't think Max Verstappen coming in there, he's going to try to prove himself? This ain't your seat. You're not the number one driver. I am. That is going to be fireworks like nobody's business. Max Verstappen. You talking about Nico and Lewis having situations on track. You better believe that this might end up being damn Haas 4.0 on track. If you think that George Russell is going to stand for Max Verstappen, treating him like he did Sergio Perez, you got another thing coming. It's not going by that easy. George Russell, to me, I'm going to give him some credit, is no Sergio Perez. No Sergio Perez. He is not going to. We've already seen George Russell and his willingness to call his own shot, to come in for the tires he wants, to do and say what he says in the press. His facial expressions give it away. Max Verstappen and George Russell is not going to be a good driver's pairing as far as character, integrity, and relationship. Now, what you might get on the track with them in different positions on track and trying to get the best performance and the most points, that might be a different story. But once they get near each other, okay, we'll see. We'll see. So on the backhand of that, okay, you're going to ship out Russell, you're going to keep Antonelli. It's really like Mercedes put themselves in a situation that really doesn't pan out overall best for them. It just doesn't. Max Verstappen, what is he going to contribute to you? He's already with a team that's at least a top performing team, and he's not happy. If Mercedes get Max Verstappen anytime before 2026, if that ever was to happen due to some type of contractual clause in the contracts, and they don't nail the new regulations in 2026, you're just going to have a big crybaby. You're going to have somebody that pouts. You're going to have somebody that's going to blame you, blame the team, blame the car, blame the engineers, blame the team principal, blame anything besides for himself, and he's not going to kick in and contribute as, let's see how we can build this up. That's not Max Verstappen. So then what do you do now, Mercedes? Because I can tell you this. Media pressure can bust pipes. Your driver not taking responsibility and continuously blaming the team is going to bust pipes. Nobody effectively wants to deal with somebody like that. Who's going to be his radio engineer? Bono? I don't think Bono want to deal with that. GP probably don't even want to keep dealing with it the way things keep looking. I'm gonna say this, and a lot of people are gonna try to be like, oh, he's over the hill. Mercedes, although maybe not as good for Lewis Hamilton, because I felt like you shitted and squandered 3 seasons of that man's career with that bullshit design. It would have been better for you to still have him on board. His contributions went overlooked at Mercedes, and you ended up being wrong, and you had to tell him that he was right. What he brings to the table as far as camaraderie and inclusiveness is by far none, and you're not going to get that out of Max Verstappen. His ability to work with a teammate, even in difficult situations, is bar none, and you're not going to get that from Max Verstappen. You're not. The marketability and sponsorships and spectators and fan interaction, you're not going to get that from Max Verstappen. You're just hoping that what you get from Max Verstappen is not a mirage. You're hoping that you get the 4-time champion, Max Verstappen, which is a mirage. And why do I say that? Because let's just keep it a buck. 2021 championship, Mercedes, you were part of that. You were part of that. You were there. You see that. He really didn't win that. 2022, well, Mercedes, one could say that the financial advantage over your competitors could be a problem. We're going to go into 2023. Maybe they're possibly still one of the most dominant cars on the grid, though. 2024, asymmetric braking. Adrian Newey's trying to get out. Christian Horner has a scandal. Performance of Red Bull continually decline. Max Verstappen never rebounds, really. And had his season look like it did on the back half, wouldn't be a champion. But you take that how you want. So when you get Max Verstappen, and this is just from my observation of what I see, if your car is not the most dominant car on the grid and the FIA are not in your pocket and you don't have somebody filling out petitions against all the teams and appeals for whatever Max Verstappen does, I don't think you're getting what you think you're going to get. I think what you're going to get is a large sum of money going out into somebody's pocket, which, okay, he is still one of the best drivers on the grid. That's not even a question. It's not a question. Max Verstappen is one of the better drivers on the grid, for sure. That's not even a question or a debate. I don't think anybody can debate that. I don't think anybody should debate that. It's factually true that he's still one of the better drivers on the grid. He's hands down, without a doubt, top 5 driver on the grid. But he ain't what he's advertised as. He's not what what a lot of people try to sell him as, and we're seeing that. So I think Mercedes has done a very good job at fracturing their what appeared to be wholesome, team environment. And you will do that more so times 10 by bringing Max Verstappen in. And you're going to do that more so times another 10 by shipping Antonelli out to be farmed to another team. Although he's still going to be able to be active on the grid and get experience, I wonder what he's going to think about you at a young age. He's only 18. And teenagers take shit like that very personal. They hold grudges because they don't have the full life experience of an adult, of knowing that things could be worse and they do get worse, and you got to know how to manage bad situations to make the best out of them. He's not going to like that. He's not going to look at you very favorable. And it might even be said to be true that if it is possible that if you do that and he does drive for them and he does look good, well, I hope your contract has some very ironclad shit in there, because Antonelli might be able to put himself into a situation where it says, I'm not coming back to you. Max Verstappen has been very, very, very consistent with the point of he does not plan on driving until he is 40 years old, and it might be even sooner than that. He's been very consistent with, I plan on leaving Formula One with enough time and enough physical ability for me to go somewhere else and do something else and experience different driving disciplines and hopefully win championships somewhere else and do something. And I mean, what is it to be said about a guy who can win 4 titles regardless of how they won, who can be successful to some level regardless of how it was? I'm just talking about in this scope. What does it say about a guy who has been with this team, and this team has given you the ability to do that, and you just bounce the moment things get a bit difficult? The moment things get a bit difficult, you're out. Shit, that tells me that the loyalty don't run deep there. So you think you get Max Verstappen in there and you ain't on point to the point where he feels like he can just run away with championships? You think he's sticking around for you, Mercedes? Hell no. If he didn't stick around with a team that allowed him to come in at the young age he was and put him in a Formula One car after things got a bit tough, you think he gonna stick around with you? You basically a one-night stand, possibly. You're possibly a one-night stand. That's exactly the position you're putting yourself in. Possibly a one-night stand situation. A one-hit wonder type situation. And it might not even be a hit, just might be a wonder. You already made one error. Keep Russell, keep Antonelli, grow your team, groom your rookie, let Russell get more experience, teach him how to better lead, teach him how to be a better mentor, teach him how to be better in Mercedes ways, Niki Lauda type, and really go from there. I think sometimes not making a move is better than making a move and suffering catastrophic failure. It's almost like fantasy football. We're in fantasy football season right now. Some people have already drafted their teams. They got a roster and already looking for trades. Haven't even played a single game yet. Sometimes you just got to sit tight with what you got and let it kind of play out, especially if it's not bad. Because let's keep it a buck. It's not bad at Mercedes with the driver pairing. It really isn't. Am I wrong in saying that it's not bad? George Russell is 4th in the drivers' championship points, and your rookie is 7th. You got 2 drivers in the top 10, and you're not the strongest car on the grid. We still know you have heating issues that you need to work out with the car as far as performance. Your driver is 1 spot in about 19 points or so out from what? Out from damn 3rd? Let's see. He's 18 points out from 3rd. Your driver, George Russell, in the Mercedes that has performance issues, is 18 points from 3rd. Do you know who's in 3rd place? Max Verstappen. Are you really getting a big upgrade by bringing Max in and putting Russell out? Are you really willing to shit can your future with Kimi Antonelli, who is looking like a rookie sensation in some aspects? Are you really willing to lose that? Mechanic Mercedes in the super chat says, lunchtime, Horner gave Max everything and built the car for Max, and he still stabbed him in the back. I call him Max the Judah now. I'm telling you, I got a shirt that says Max backstabbing, because that's what he will do. I got you, bro. I got you, Judas. I got you. I know. Incredible Facts Quest in the super chat says, and this is exactly what I was saying. Let Max go to Mercedes. It's going to be a spectacular disaster. I feel sorry for Kimi, not Russell. I'm with you. And this is why I also said, both of us said this very same thing. I'm hoping Mercedes gets everything they're hoping for. I'm hoping they get everything they want. Because guess what? Sometimes what you want is not what you need. And there is such a thing as, trust me, I know. There's a saying, nothing good comes easy, right? You got to work for it. Nothing good comes easy. But I'm going to tell you, there's another saying that necessarily what you ask for is not what you want. And sometimes when you have to do a bunch of things and concessions and jumping around and going through hoops and trying to make all of this finagle to get something, you'll find out it wasn't worth all that. My grandfather used to say, if the grass is greener on the other side, grandson, it's for 2 reasons. 1, the water bill's probably high as hell, or 2, there's a lot of shit being used over there. Period. If the grass is greener on the other side, it's for 2 reasons. The water bill is high as shit, or they're using a lot of shit over there. Which one are you going to be able to tolerate? Are you going to have the money to deal with the water bill, or are you going to have tall boots to deal with stepping around in bullshit? Mercedes, take note. You might need high waiters. Mechanic Mercedes says, Max backstabbing, hilarious, bro. I got that shirt. I'm telling you, I'm about to put it on the website. The Max backstabbing shirt is probably going to be on the website for sale. But I just don't know what you want to do. Your driver that you're trying to bring in and you're talking about giving all this money and making the most highest paid and giving all these concessions. You didn't want to give a driver that gave you 8 constructor championship titles while he got it cheated out of his 7th, and you still got to celebrate your 8th. You shit canned him, but you're telling us And it's looking like to us, you're going to be willing to bend over backwards for Max Verstappen, who's in third, only 18 points up from your driver in a better car? Don't let anybody sell you on this. Max is driving a damn Tonka truck around the Formula One circuits. It's not true. Still in one of the top performing cars. There's not a gap. There's not enough gap between Max Verstappen and George Russell for me to say he worth all that. With what I'm looking at, we might want to chill, let Russell bring this new car into the new regulations, and then let Kimi just keep being a silver arrow, sensational rookie, and see what we got. It's kind of coincidental. Kimi's numbers is the exact number of George Russell's car number, 63. The only drivers in front of Kimi Antonelli are two Ferrari drivers in Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Two very seasoned drivers in Ferrari cars. It's a little bit crazy to me. I'm not following. I'm not going to track with this move and this decision if it is indeed to happen. It just seems to me like Mercedes are now about to panic. We let somebody go we shouldn't have. Now, can we just get another sensation over here so we can have it? That's exactly what it's looking like to me. It's looking crazy. And you're gonna ruin your relationship with Kimi Antonelli if he himself doesn't mature to a point where he can understand, you know what, I don't have to necessarily like them, but what can I really get from them and how can I benefit if I'm with them? If he's not there mentally, you're going to ruin your relationship to the point where he's not going to want to do shit for you. He's going to take it personal. He's young. He's probably not going to understand the dynamics of, yeah, okay, you did me wrong, but let me see what else I can get out of you and see how much more it could benefit me by being with you, because keeping my enemies close is better than keeping my friends closer. He's probably not there yet mentally. He took this opportunity as a dream. And then if you bring Max in and ship him out, it's going to be a nightmare. Paul in the Super Chat says, happy Tuesday, fam. Smash the like, y'all. Enjoying a quick break at work. Peace and love to the fam. Peace and love to you, brother. Peace and love to you. So, yeah, I think this situation could be very bad for Mercedes. Incredible Facts Quest says, no, if he doesn't work, they're going to have Toto's head after salivating for years about Max. Right. Your long-term high school crush is about to show up 200 pounds over the BMI weight, body mass index, in a Ford Escort to meet you at the movie theater. And you about to be like, damn, it's too late. Now, Ottoman Teddy, what's going on? Nal in the Super Chat says, kind of reminds me of Ferrari. Instead of focusing on their internal struggles, they went out of their way to Prost. Alonso, we know how that turned out. Oof, good reference. Good reference right there. Hot one. That's a hot take. Hot take right there, Nal, for sure, hot take. For sure, a hot take right there. So, yeah, let me know how y'all feeling about this. Let me know what you all think. I don't know what's going to all come out. Some people like Mary Beanie were speculating there will be news about this in the next few weeks, a couple of weeks. I don't want to misquote her, but I think in that time frame. Where there's smoke, there's fire. This is not something that is just a tinfoil cap thing. These negotiations are going on. It was already reported that PK Jr. kind of let some things out of the bag, but not really. I think we all know that these conversations were being had. We already know that Jos Verstappen was in Mercedes talking to Toto. We already know that these things are legitimately happening. We just don't know how exact the reporting is, what words are being used. Is there really a contract firmly in place or being drafted? How Mercedes is going to work out their driver pairing if Max does come in? Who's going to get the shit canned? Is it going to be Russell? Is it going to be Antonelli? We don't know how all that's going to play out, but something's got to play out. Okay, if you got a fantasy roster where you can only have two quarterbacks and somebody's offering you a deal for a good quarterback, well, one of those quarterbacks has to go. Somebody's got to go. So you got to decide, are you going to drop this quarterback to the waiver? Are you going to work out a trade where they're going to end up getting the quarterback, but you're going to get another position? We don't know how all of this is going to play out, but when it does play out, I am on the opinion side of it's not going to be the best for Mercedes in the long run. But I could be wrong. That's why it's an opinion. It's not a factual thing. I could be wrong. I'm just saying how I'm reading this. As a matter of fact, I want to poll you all in the chat to see what you think about it. Do you think this is a good idea? Yes or no? Do you think this is a good move? Do you think Mercedes bringing Max in is a good move and sending Antonelli out? Do you think that that's a good move? Because right now I don't. And no, it is very good to see you back active. I hope you and your family are doing well. And I hope everything that you've had challenges with, you are finding some peace and resolve with them. I really do. It is very awesome to see Nall back active with the Wolfpack family for very good reasons. It is very good to see you. Yeah, but 60% of y'all are saying no. 64% of y'all are saying no. I'm right along there with you all. I don't think it's going to be good, but we will soon see. We will see. And honestly, Red Bull making a move, maybe that kind of might kill the negotiations. Maybe Red Bull deciding to finally ship Christian Horner out was their way to say to Max Verstappen, hey, we with you. We will do whatever we need to do that we can do to make you feel like you should stay here. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with seeing Max show the world what he really made of and what he can really do as far as helping a team rebound from what they would consider a down season, although it's not that down. You just got a car that you got Max centrally focused and another driver can't drive it. So really, Red Bull's got to fix a lot of things with themselves to help themselves as a team, because Max Verstappen is not one single-handedly going to help you through the course of a full season with your second car competing like that when a Constructors Championship. Incredible Facts question. The Super Chat says, Toto, you're not Red Bull. You're not Christian. You don't have that killer mentality. Keep them. Oof. Big points. Big points right there, Quest. Mechanic Mercedes says, I'm donating my Mercedes car when they bring Max on board. He said, bro, you gonna get rid of it, bro? Merc to pull apart. Oh, shit. He said, I'm gonna donate that. Paul in the Super Chat says, I think they're better sitting Woody. Oh, you think they're better sitting Woody? So you would be okay with them bringing Max in and getting rid of Woody and having Max and Antonelli? Damn. That's okay. All right. Oh, okay. I see where you might be with that then. That's a little wild then to me. Paul is saying he's good with them getting rid of Woody. I guess that's how I'm reading it. Am I reading that correctly, or are you saying something else there, Paul? Because that's damn. So you're good with them getting rid of Woody, keeping Antonelli, and having Max and Russell as a driver pairing. I mean, I guess if you looked at it, you could probably say that if they had Russell and Max together, they'd have two drivers in the top five. But over time, what would that do? Because I'm not really sure that Max Verstappen's going to do well with adjusting to a Mercedes car, because then what are you going to do, Mercedes? How are you going to continue with the development of your car? Is the development of your car going to hinder one of your other drivers, and then you pretty much just end up in a Red Bull situation? You build a car too much to the fault of Max Verstappen where the other drivers can't compete in it? Because let's just keep it a buck. If I go in and I have a car built for me, fitted for me, driving style suitable just for me, it doesn't matter how good you are. You're going to get in that car and you're going to struggle to adapt because you're not me. Mercedes has not made that mistake. They have not went down the era of those Red Bull ways. And if Mercedes does that, you're just going to be a team who is less capable or less experienced and handling a driver with the characteristics of Max Verstappen on top of building a car that only Max can drive, but nobody else can. Up until now, the Silver Arrows and Mercedes have built an environment that kind of favors both of their drivers. Both of our drivers can legitimately compete in both of these cars. That's really factually where they've been up until the point if they're going to do this. And if that's what they're going to do, I mean, because if we go back to Mercedes, come on, Valtteri was 3, Lewis Hamilton was 2nd, getting cheated in the Drivers' Championship. Both of your drivers are right there. If we go back before that, Lewis Hamilton was 1, Valtteri was 2nd. You had a car that both drivers could compete in. Even then, if you go back 2019, well, again, Lewis Hamilton was 1st, Valtteri was 2nd. Are you about to build a Red Bull situation, Max 3rd, and then you got to go down to find out where your other driver is in the Red Bull car? Sergio Perez is 10th. There's always a gap in the Red Bull driver pairing because their car only favors one driver. So I got to wonder, is Mercedes about to sign up for that foolishness? Because that's foolishness. You didn't get 8 World Constructor Championship titles because you built a car that only one driver could drive. You got 8 Constructor World Championship titles because you built a performing machine that was adequate for both of your drivers. And then the drivers made the difference because of the ability and skill and talent of the individual drivers. Are you about to sign up for that foolishness of having the Red Bull Constructor Championship gap because of your teammates? I think there's some things, and I'm not saying I know better than the Mercedes board or Toto, Wolff, or team principals or the engineers. I'm just saying maybe there's some things that they are discounting that they shouldn't. Maybe there are some things that you are not considering as heavy as you should about this move that you are about to make. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I take a bit more value in what I've seen characteristically and integrity of your team than you are saying we just need a star player. How many times have we seen in other sports where they acquire top star players that have problems, and then you find out those problems drizzle out throughout your team, and actually that was subtraction by addition? You might very well see that Red Bull might have addition by subtraction. The minusing of Max Verstappen might actually benefit Red Bull. You might see Red Bull say, we don't have Max. Okay, what kind of car are we going to develop? A good car, a balanced car, a car that we can see which drivers are going to do the better in them, and we stay with that. You might see the morale of Red Bull uplifted without the albatross of Max Verstappen hanging around their damn neck. And now Toto Wolff is going to take that big-ass, dangling, heavy, overbearing albatross, as Maria Dunkley so-called and very eloquently put in our Wolves Den, around his neck, and Toto Wolff is going to have back problems because he's going to be walking around like this trying to answer all the questions that he's going to get overbearing with, trying to deal with all the damn problems that Max Verstappen is going to bring between the teammates, trying to deal with all the weight that Max Verstappen is going to put on the team and not on himself as a star. That is what you are about to probably sign up for. That albatross can weigh you down and can very well end your damn Formula One life. Just keeping it a buck. So, go figure. Don't know I just seen you, Paul. I don't know. What YouTube, man, YouTube be on some other shit, bro. Sometimes YouTube just do what the hell they want to do. So, but yeah, we I don't know. That YouTube is a whole nother different story, brother. I could go on here. I don't want to bash YouTube too much. Hell, they might cancel my damn channel or something. But brother, everybody, and Paul, big shout out to you, and big shout out to your friend on the recovery. Let him know Wolfpack J wishes him well, the family wishing them well, hoping that continues to improve for them. Big shout out again to Sylvia Witt Kelly, the new addition to her family. Good thing to see Nall in the chat. Good thing Maria Maria Beanie's bouncing back from being sick. Good to see Just Sean in here. Miss Dino, I'm glad you getting all active and involved since we got you in the Discord. Darth, you're always very elaborate and very active in the chat. I appreciate you, Darth, the way you get active in the chat. I appreciate everybody in their contribution here as a family. Everybody contributes as a family, as a unit should, and we all got our different strengths. And that's what makes me very happy to have the community built that we have had here. So big shout out to you all. We are in a race week build up, so we will see what's going to happen soon. We'll be live multiple times this week. Let me know what you think below in the comment section about all of this and how you think it might even play out. And that being said, that is another one done. We're out. Peace.